It's election night. You have nothing better to do. What are you going to watch TV for the next 4 hours as they slowly analyze who's going to be president? Or should we do a nightcap? I'm not going to answer any of the questions from today's video, but I just can't sit there and watch it. My wife is watching it right now. You know, the polls are just now closing. Here's who we think is going to win here and here. And you're like, man, it's going to be a long night. I don't want to sit there and keep going over it, poring over the data every half hour, guessing what they want. Rather just do this because I have a little time here. Hello, Tyler. Hello, Rob. Hello, Snoopy. Hello. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hey, Bernardo. So, Bernardo, that one guy. Hi, that one guy. That one guy. Hey, Jamie. Jamie here. Board game. I got the little, I didn't know it existed, the mini expansion to Alma Mater, which is basically just some new student tiles. That's all it is. I swear I didn't know until after. Yeah, they got any new games this summer? Well, I just got this game in today, and it's just like a little mini expansion. So I'm not going to do a review for it, but I just found it funny. I was like, wow. I said, I didn't know it had this. After I did the review, I was adding it to my, collection that I have. Oh, I need to add need to add that to my collection too, that I have it. So I just kind of add these games to my collection on my profile on Board Game Geek. And when I added Alma Mater, it said new students. I was like, well, what's the new students? I was like, well, I got to get this too. So I was like, oh, wow. So I was like, okay. And it looks cool. I mean, the thing is, I'm not going to, I'll play with it next time I play. It's just new student tiles, which would be fun. So, and I did get that other game in actually the day before that posted. I thought I wasn't going to get it in until today, but the other game I was telling you about came in. I'm adding that one too. If I can find it on here. There it is. Adding that too to my list there of games I have. So now I'll do a review for that because we're going to play it later on this week. Tomorrow, I think I'm playing it. And so we'll play that one, and then I'll give my thoughts on it and do a review and everything. So that should be fun. Oh, thanks. Doing well. Got some Holy Grails. Exporting. Got 4 Waddington games. Man, Bernard, you just like have a plethora of Waddington games. Your Waddington game collection is very awesome. Yeah, Marrakesh is on my Christmas list. The rug game. Yeah. Jamie did a great review on this rug game. And there's, Jamie, I cannot remember the one you did after that right now. But I remember you were like 2 for 2. I was like, man, I like both of these. So I thought that was really neat. Oh, here he is.
Hello.
Welcome back, sir.
Yep. I mean, nice time. Sure it can't be anything else happening around this time, right?
Nothing else is happening. So let's see. Yep. Just finished. Oh! I wish Stig was here. Love Jedi Cat. Love it. Siberian, have you read Jedi Academy before?
Yeah, I haven't. I only advanced part way through the 3rd one, but I liked. There's some things I didn't like, and a lot of things I did. Mostly, I felt the character and the plot could have used just a little bit of tweaking. I liked the Sun Crusher. I liked Exar Kun and all that stuff. And I like Luke finally making his own academy.
Yeah.
No. Stuff like Cloud City. Like, Luke actually walks over magma in that book. That's pretty cool. It's like, sure, Anakin's kick himself. I wish I had that ability.
Yeah, but anyway, Tyler, I agree with you. I don't see the hate. Stig absolutely hates it. Ryan Kendall thought it was so, and I don't know what Evan thought about it.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
I told you I'd get you on here next time.
Yeah, you did. And it's election night.
It is?
Mm-hmm. You know it is. Okay. Your polls are already closed, sir.
Well, it's a brilliant plan to hold this nightcap right now. It's like people are going to need something to like detense, I think.
Seriously, like
part of the trauma everywhere.
Jedi Academy trilogy, right?
Yeah.
I thought they were good for what they are. They're definitely not the Thrawn trilogy to me. They are interesting, and they do a lot of tying into Dark Empire and what came before, and kind of like some of the early Ralph McQuarrie drawings, because I think they did. Kevin J. Anderson did a book, right? Like the Guide to the Illustrated Star Wars Universe, something like that. He did, and it had a bunch of Ralph drawings. He really referenced himself, or later on did.
Can I say something?
Yeah, hold on just a moment. Skyrunner, that's what it was. Yeah, the cat burger climbing the building. That was Ravensburger, and I just thought that was awesome. There's so many Ravensburger games out there that I just did not know about. Obvious. This year is the year of Ravensburger for me. Discover Ravensburger. But go ahead.
No, it just.
Well, I think Dream wanted to make a point. Hold on.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, you can go ahead. I'll keep.
No. It's you. It's your go.
Well, you were talking about the Ralph McQuarrie drawings. I'm going to say, as much as I liked how Coruscant turned out, I like how the original design had Abaddon looked. It was very nice, like pyramids and stuff.
Yeah, the had Abaddon look. So in case any of you guys here in Matson isn't familiar about that, is that was kind of in the original treatment / rough draft of Jedi. Was this planet called Had Abaddon, and it had the Death, like you had the forest moon of Endor, and then you had the Death Star orbiting Had Abaddon.
Let me ask you this: the weird Lando Falcon plot you're talking about, Tyler, is this the I can't remember. This is the series where Han and Lando keep betting over the Falcon, and when I love that, I think it's hilarious.
It's hilarious, but it gets old. It gets old the second time they were doing it. Like, not the second time, but like the third and fourth time around they were doing it. It just kind of got old at that point to me.
I do want to say about the Jedi Canon trilogy. The stupidest thing I thought was like where they have these like toddlers wielding lightsabers, or to defend Luke from these bad things that Exar Kun was controlling. I mean, didn't kill the rest of the thing to me, but I thought that could have like been avoided.
That was Anakin Solo, right?
No. Jason.
Oh, Jason.
Yeah.
Okay, Jason Jaina. Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, it's just showing that was the first time the kids actually did something. I think
I know you
of
could
meaning, because didn't they also get lost in the lower levels of Coruscant in earlier books?
Yeah.
I mean, in the trilogy.
I think that was that Jedi Search. I think that was Jedi Search or Dark Apprentice. They did that.
Yeah. So I mean, he gave them. And by the way, before then, they were not developed characters. They were just babies. So to give them a little bit of a storyline, I thought was unique.
I know.
I mean, it's been a while, but
it's not blatantly stupid, because you could argue that they were all new trainees and they were a bit uncertain. I know, it's just I felt like probably not what I would have done as a writer.
Tyler, I think that was drummed up, and I mean, I could be wrong, but to me, it felt that was kind of drummed up because Lando and Han. This is early in the days, and all we saw was Empire. That they're kind of at their necks a little bit here and there, but they're still friends. I think that's what the feeling was here. It's kind of even though Lando wasn't joking about it, it was supposed to be a little bit of comedy in there between the two. I have seen the Toys That Made Us. I haven't watched all the episodes because some of those I didn't collect, like He-Man I never collected. But the one on, have y'all seen the one on Kenner Star Wars?
I honestly have not. I need to go down. I need to do a drive down to Cincinnati sometime. It's like a 3-hour drive. And just kind of like go and explore like where Kenner was. Like where apparently there's like a little tour or something like that somebody made online. Just visit this and this place. It's kind of a cool little
I actually
thing.
have 2 Kenner products. The Star Destroyer and the Super Star Destroyer. They go for like $200 or so or something. I actually have one that I got from 2008. Someone sold it to me online, but my brother stepped on that and it was ruined. But I got a new one. It's a great.
Yeah, we had Well, I remember we had a few of those toys back in the day, and someone had a Millennium Falcon,
Oh yeah.
and he it was so nice, and we always wanted a Millennium Falcon. But he said meteor shower, and he grabbed bricks and he just slammed them down and just. He was one of those kids. If you remember Sid from Toy Story, that's who he was. He just tore up his toys all the time, and we were just sitting there going, "Oh," because we would have gladly paid, whatever money we had for that Millennium Falcon from him.
And I don't believe that man's ever been to medical school.
I'm telling you. But the thing is, though, the Kenner series on Toys That Made Us that Bernard was talking about earlier was really good because Kenner was a no-name toy company who got lucky and got the rights because no one wanted to touch the sci-fi Star Wars, but they were hungry for anything. So yeah, we'll take it. And what a boon it turned out to be for them.
They later
they got bigger contracts, and sadly, when Star Wars wore out in the public's eye, they lost their company eventually. They went under. Later on, I think early 90s, they finally went belly up because they just couldn't find anything that sold as big as the Star Wars thing. And they invented the, 4-inch, 3.5-inch character. Because I love this because he said, the guy said, we're not doing dolls anymore. I want them to be this tall. And he didn't have what measurement was. He just did this. And they said a guy took a ruler and just kind of measured out and go, okay, you want them this tall. And that was the set scale, and which eventually became the set scale for all action figures going forward. So it was a big momentous moment how Kenner changed the toy industry too, in a way. And Bernardo says the He-Man episode was really good too. I just didn't collect He-Man. I wasn't a He-Man fan, so I didn't watch that one. I can't remember what all toys were included in that one, but I did watch a few of those, but not all of them, because I think one was Barbie and stuff. I was like, I don't get into Barbie. I'm sure they were interesting, so maybe I need to go back through them. And he says, they also did one called Movies That Made Us. Huh.
I'll have to give that a watch.
Can I say something?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah.
The Kenner thing that I found most interesting is nobody knew that Star Wars was going to take off. Nobody thought it would. The studio suits all underestimated it. And one thing I find interesting is because Kenner was a nobody, they had to give kids these guarantees that they'll just have a box for Christmas. But when we actually make it, then you can get it. That was kind of interesting.
They actually have the they did the 40th anniversary thing, the mail-in stuff. I have the standee thing up on my top shelf there.
Your Last Jedi.
I don't know if it's very visible, but it's like that standee thing that they did that they packaged with Vader's the 6-inch Vader one. So I don't mind the 3 and 3/4 inch line. I really don't mind that line. I don't know. I just like the 6-inch, the Black Series kind of scale a little bit better.
Right. I like the Black Series, you mean?
Yeah, it's harder to, make vehicles for and, that kind of stuff.
Well, that's why they went with that size, the 3 3/4 one, is because it turned out to be just the great standard size for vehicles and everything.
Right.
Micro Machines tried this for a little bit because, they could do a Micro Machine Star Destroyer was like this big or something was. I can't remember it. Someone tried a smaller scale. No, it was. I'm not talking about that. Not talking about Micro Machines.
Was it Ertl?
Armada is trying to make things.
Oh yeah,
and having those small TIE fighters so they can have the big. But oh my gosh, I played that with Brian Borg from Twin Sons Foundation one night. We were at his house and we played it, and those sculpts are amazing. The game looks amazing. It's not technically for me, because I was very confused on how those kind of freestyle, it's called tabletop games go. What are they called? They're called
they're miniature games. They're
miniature games, and I don't do well with miniature games, but that was a fun one. It was a fun one to play, and the models look really nice. I'm not a strategist that way.
I actually have a few of the X-Wing one, like the X-Wing miniature games. I have a couple of those. Those are really nice in detail as well, and that's a really fun game too. I find that maybe a little bit funner than Armada.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
You know what I think? In topic, I think would be a great era for Legends to explore if they ever give us one more novel or something. I think it would be the actual first schism of the Sith, where the Jedi were like banned out, the Dark Jedi, and then they landed on Korriban. To show them landing on Korriban, just end with that. That would be pretty cool.
Let me ask you this: if you could, Tyler was asking, Tyler's praying that he gets a Jason and Anakin since they already made a Jaina. Is there one EU character? I would like to, Tyler. I'm going to say if there's one EU character that the Black Series should make next, it should be a Jason because you already have a Jaina. So I think that would, for me, that'd be the one I'd like to see next. Guys, y'all have any opinion on if Black Series to make another EU character, who would it be?
You know what? The thing is that right now there's talk of an Asajj Ventress one coming out soon. So yeah, that was always on my list, but I think Jason definitely does need a bit of. He needs a figure. I'd rather have a Darth Kaitis figure than a Jason figure, I think, because that would match well with the Jaina one. Because that Jaina one, correct me if I'm wrong, is from the Legacy of the Force. That's Legacy of the Force. It appears
to be, yeah. She could be the Sword of the Jedi at that point, but yeah.
Yeah. The thing is like when I see Jaina with the Yuzon Bong stuff, is like I think of her in the Jedi robes, that kind of like.
True, but she was piloting Twin Suns. She was being captain of Twin Suns after Luke and them left.
That's true.
Yeah,
but no, it could definitely be Legacy of the Force as well.
I'd rather see a Jason, Darth Kaitis Jason than I think just straight up. But
if I was
maybe that's to me.
I was gonna see another Black series. I never bought those. I always bought more mainstream action figures, I guess. But so have they done Dirge or something, or Darth Bane? Then not the Clone Wars one, but the book Darth Bane. If they did that, I'd probably get that.
Did they have a 6-inch Mara Jade Black series? I don't think they do.
No, they don't. They don't have that yet. They have it in the 375 one. It was like one of their second wave. Oh no, Matt! What if you get out of here, Lethal? Go, Scat, go.
By the way,
shoot.
One fact about the
go back to Australia.
Fun fact about the action figures. My brother, like in 2016 or so, I think, got me a Kylo Ren figure. Like, man, it looks just like Revan, and I can pretend it's Revan, just like.
He's up there on the shelf right now. Actually, wait. Let me go and grab something.
Christopher Clark says HK-47. I hear a lot of people say that.
Well, I thought they already did HK-47. You know how big Hodor is.
Darth Vader toothpick dispenser.
I had a Darth Vader figure once. It was on 2005 where he gets him from Anakin and then give him the burn treatment and then change him to Darth Vader. That was cool.
I was a Jaina Zeke fan too, to be honest, Quinlan Voss.
He does. Be careful.
Yeah, well, it's harder. It's not easy rounding up Nerf, being a Nerf herder.
Oh no. Lethal.
All right.
I promised Evan he'd be on the next one.
Yeah. Speaking of the 6-inch Black Series, they just last month or so they put out the Nihilus figure, the 6-inch.
Oh wow!
Okay.
And they did that. It's a GameStop exclusive with the Gaming Greats line that they're doing.
Jeez. I think some of the best conversations in KOTOR 2 come around Nihilus.
Right. I don't know.
Let me switch this up then. Since we were talking about books, since we all named book characters there, what about a comic book character that you'd like to see come to the Black Series toy line?
Was ever there? If so, I'd say him.
You say who? I'm sorry.
If Quinlan Voss wasn't there, put him there.
Yeah.
I'm sure Quinlan will more than likely get a figure coming up soon.
No, Menard does not have a figure.
I just don't want the Darth Bane from like Filoni's Clone War stuff. I want it from the original, the books, because he has a clear, distinctive look.
He does, and I think you know what perplexed me about that Bane model that they used in the Clone Wars is that literally they had a Bane model already created. Like a Legends accurate one that they had created for, I think it was for season 3 during the Mortis arc. They had a Bane model created for him already. Yeah. I don't know if it was supposed to be like, I don't know what they were doing later on, but I usually that's really not even Darth Bane that you see. It's just an illusion of what Yoda thinks Bane sees. So that's the thing.
Yeah, and Johnny, that's why we're doing it, because why not? We need a break, right?
We do. I just need freaking politics. I swear.
This is because all my friends are getting upset. My family could get upset. So yeah, something to de-stress everyone. I heard that years ago.
Exar Kun. For me, it would probably be. Oh, I would like a Nomi Sunrider. I'm gonna go with Cade Skywalker.
Oh, back then I kind of always collected Dragon Ball Z figures more, but I say go with Dirge. Get a Dirge one. I'd really like him.
Dirge is a good one too.
No, I gotta think. Because I've read a lot of comics.
I like Tenoka Jason. That's the Young Jedi Knights version was perfect for that. That's also why I like Jaina and Zeke, because he was part of the Young Jedi Knights too, and I always thought they'd make a good a good pair. I don't mind Jagfale. I don't mind him at all, And I mean, yeah, that was great. They got together, but if it would have been me doing the story, it would have been Zeke. But you don't want me doing the Star Wars story, because you already know I'd put Luke and Callistia together, and I'd put Mara and Lando together, which no one would want. But me.
About Lando and Mara, I have no thoughts on that one way or another. When I was reading Jedi Academy trilogy, my only thought was the continuity that kind of upset me. But that's kind of at a later date, so it's like it's not that bad. But if they had gone with that, I wouldn't have cared.
You know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say an Ashred Het figure. Just kind of mix it up. An Ashred Het figure, a Shared Het.
Gosh. Yeah, I know the from the comic book Star Wars, the ongoing series.
Well, technically Republic, but
it later on turned to Republic.
Right. But it's still numbered. Republic's still numbered after that. So I just always refer to that series. Just
am I going to make a stream? No, but I'll have streams where people are going to ask me New Jedi Order questions and everything. I love talking about it. Hey, that's why I had to reshoot everything when my computer died. There is one. I forgot to mention this. There is one. I think it's on Trader. Something happened to the video, and it starts about 10 to 20 seconds into the video. You don't miss anything. You miss my introduction and then maybe a few words, but it just cuts to me right in it. I don't know what happened, and I don't have that footage anymore. And I don't have time to refilm it. So you're going to miss about 20 seconds. Most of that's my introduction and then me going into what the book's about. Stover's Trader. That'll be coming up, but I couldn't. It's coming out next week, and I have zero time to record. But just now that and then Evan just rage quit. Way to go, Lethal. Lethal, you can come on in now.
Speaking of ships, maybe we could talk about ships.
It could have been Zeke. It could have been Zeke or Zach. I don't really know how you pronounce his name. I called it Jaina. Zach or Zeke, or it doesn't matter. I don't know. I haven't heard either way or the other. I think I used to call him. I want to say I used to call him Zach, but I don't know. Maybe I called him Zeke. I don't remember.
It is. You did call it Baruka once, and I prefer how that sounds, to be honest.
Quality, whatever. Yeah, you know it's true. I've been reading Vader and Anakin stuff and find my liking Anakin more as a character. Would you say that he's a better? Which would you say is the better character, Vader or Anakin? Well, I mean, Anakin, they go into more depth in. That's the thing. There's not that. I hear there's maybe newer Vader novels, but some of the comic books went into Vader a little bit into his past, which was nice. But Anakin could be a more developed character. You can see that.
Yeah, I actually picked up. Not picked up, but I started reading the Lords of the Sith new canon novel. Yeah, I know, it's stupid. It's all right from what I've read so far. It's by Kemp. Honestly, he isn't a bad writer. Paul S. Kemp. What are your opinions on him, Matt?
Paul S. Kemp? No, not bad. Not bad at all. Yeah, no, his stuff's enjoyable.
I don't know. I have an interest in reading like the couple new canon novels, Tarkin, Lords of the Sith,
He did
and Heir to the Jedi.
Essentially, he did Riptide and what else?
He did Riptide and I think was it Crosscurrent? I know he did.
That's what it was called.
He also I think he also did Deceived here.
And Old Republic novels too. He did one.
Yeah,
of
he did.
Deceived is the best of the Old Republic novels, by the way. That's probably his best one for me because I really liked his story there.
Yeah, so I don't know. I have an interest in those three novels plus Dark Disciple, just kind of to see how that compares and contrasts with the Republic comics. I guess you could say. I need to get a new webcam. This thing is like frame rates all over the place, but kind of interested in those novels more because those were the novels that in between the Disney canon and like before everything kind of got rebranded.
Right. And to answer everyone's question there, yeah, I like Dark Nest. I'm looking forward to review that too. It's not technically part of the New Jedi Order. It does take place within the New Jedi Order era.
I hate the era. I hate the era names. I honestly do. I wish it was like spaced out more. I don't know how I should say this because the thing is that the Rise of the Empire era is like 1,000 years, and yet you have the New Republic era, which is like only like 10 or 20 years worth of time. Like it's just so inconsistent with the era time spans, I guess you could say.
Like your camera focuses?
Yeah, pretty much. It's kind of awful.
It sounded like your mic was going in and out too for a minute.
Yeah, it was.
Are you doing all right? You doing all right?
Yeah. I actually need to. I'm gonna as soon as I get some money for Christmas, I'm gonna probably get new equipment. So that will be nice to have.
We'll see if Lethal can hook you up with any of his leftovers. Currently reading the middle of Thrawn trilogy. Oh, okay, right on.
I tried reading that long ago. I just started. I never finished. That's on my to-do list though. It's like 9 years ago. Yeah.
Really? I enjoyed Dark Nest, and of course, just as I go through Legacy of the Force and Fate of the Jedi and all that stuff, and then the Legacy comic books. I mean, there's not much left. There's a few little books in between there, but it's going to be fun stuff. It's for me, doing these reviews just get better and better as the story goes on. I feel like we're going to have a lot of fun. I mean, I love talking about the novels more than comic books, but still, you talk about one of the big series I have left is Legacy, which was a pretty good series. Something I was dead wrong on. When I first got it, I was thinking, oh man, this is going to suck. I thought that a lot. That's one thing I want to do is top 5 comic books I was way wrong on. Because every time I got a comic book, I was like, not every time, but sometimes like, this is going to suck. And it would be one of my favorite books.
Give us another example of that. I'm very curious on what you think, would stop that surprise.
Since I mentioned one, I'll stick on that one, Legacy, because it was 200 years or whatever in the future. I was like 120 or something. Yeah, I was like, don't do this. This is dumb. And I was like, I'm not going to get into this. This is stupid. And I was wrong. It was a very good series. So, and then there's several others too. The ones I've reviewed that I've talked about, Tales of the Jedi. I didn't care about what happened 4,000 years ago and ended up loving that series, one of my favorite series of all time. Dark Empire, before I knew it was part of the canon, had zero interest in it because I only wanted to follow the books. And then Kevin J. Anderson's Jedi Academy trilogy included it, so I had to go back and read it. And
you are not a comic book guy, are you, Matt?
I looked at I am, but with Star Wars comic books, I wasn't at first, or I
assume like the original Marvel run put a bad taste in your mouth.
I had read that one first. It was probably Dark Empire was the first time I actually read a Star Wars comic book. So and it was great. So but and there are certain comic books I look forward to, but I read a lot of Batman back then. I was a big Batman fan and stuff like that, and anything Chuck Dixon Batman universe was really good to me back then, and a few other things. In fact, that's a man I've contemplated having on my channel. I think he would come on the channel, and I'd love to have him, but I'd have to have my brother here because we were such geeks back then. We were big DC comic book people in the 90s. How can you not like the New Jedi Order era, Evan?
I never said I didn't like it.
He said he despised it.
Did I? I don't think I did. Well, I just haven't read it yet. I haven't read the New Jedi. I haven't really read anything in that era.
Bernardo, of course I'm saving the most rare. I can buy my favorite book.
There's some expensive Star Wars book, like the Junior Jedi Knight. Like,
there it is, 137 years. Thank you.
Yeah, it's 100. I was gonna correct you, but I'm like, I don't want to be.
No, I mean it's fine. It's fine. I mean, I knew it was somewhere around there.
I don't know. Skipping ahead is kind of weird, but because it kind of like you have to set yourself up to these characters have to be gone by this point. This has got to happen by this point. Yeah, I guess.
I do know one thing. I'm sure Luke probably died a lot better than he did in Last Jedi.
People were asking about this trophy. All right,
I think it was a swimsuit competition.
No, you ready for this? This is pretty hilarious.
No.
Essentially, me and my brother and a couple of friends, we play Mario Kart.
I prefer Mario Party.
And right now, I'm the current holder of that thing.
No.
So,
well, which one was that for? Nintendo?
I'm not. Here's the thing. I didn't.
Yeah,
I
which
wasn't the
version? Which version of Mario Kart?
It varies depending on the winner. So whoever holds it It goes to whoever he decides the game. It's his thing to. If someone wants to challenge him for this, it's his game to challenge him to.
Okay, Tyler, what a deal!
Because on Super Nintendo, the one I really prefer Super Mario World the best, but on the N64, I prefer Mario Party. That was a really good game.
Yeah, Mario Parties are good. Junior Jedi Knights are expensive. Yes, they are. I was going to get into this about what expensive stuff that I need for this essentially.
Speaking of Jedi Knights, I actually ordered Lyrics World. I think last month, and it still hasn't gotten here. I might have to.
Oh gosh!
But Matt, you once talked about the price increase now that they're rare. Actually, the first two Young Jedi Knights books 10 years ago, and they were $10 or so. The collections for each one, the first two, and I got them for $10, and now it's up to $80 or so for the last one.
It blows my mind. Oh, here's Matt showing off his spoils. Yeah, I need to get those. Kenobi's blade goes for 40 or 50, which just blows my mind. And those are in good condition.
It was the last one.
Those are in good condition too. I actually ran across which one's the green covered one? Which one has the green cover?
Promises.
Right. I ran across that in the wild one time, and I'm an idiot for not picking it up. But no, I hate how expensive some things are. Case in point, those books.
It's they never reprinted them, which is why they're rare.
Right.
If they would have come out with a hardback, or something like that,
you mean go over a little bit, find the hardbacks of Glove of Darth Vader, the Jedi Prince series hardbacks.
I almost have all of Jedi Prince now.
I have the hardbacks as well, Matt.
I got the paperbacks too. They're just in my closet.
They're in storage.
If when I found out Barnes & Noble for some weird reason reprinted these, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, why in the heck would you reprint those things? That was reprinted, I think, late 90s that they reprinted those, which was really weird. I don't know why, but I don't know. Deserve to go on. Yeah, it did. A lot of things were essentially cut down. I think
it's not in print anymore because they don't reprint children's books.
They actually do. They actually do reprint.
Very rarely.
I think Cal has the Rebel Force books. A couple of those with the Legends banner. Those got reprints somewhere.
Shadow Games. Oh, because it was the.
It was like one of the. It was a rarer book. Is it book club edition? It's because it's probably book club.
Yeah.
Yeah, book club editions just soar because they are just like they're hard to find. I mean, I have a New Hope, Empire, and Return of the Jedi all hardback with the book club editions.
And remember, folks, I got these when they came out.
Matt's lucky.
That's the only reason I have them all, because I wouldn't be paying $200 for the hardback.
Listen,
I got it when it came out.
Yeah, that's another reason I don't collect hardbacks because of the price hike. Like, it's a major price hike for those.
I have a few.
I like a fresh book too. So
the hardbacks for the children and stuff, like the first Boba Fett book, Young Boba Fett. I have that in the hardback.
You talk about the
world needs more Jedi Prince. I agree.
I wasn't reading Jedi Prince back then. I was playing like Star Wars and Yoda stories. Yoda stories is like,
oh my god, I know what you're talking about. The like solitaire adventure kind of game where it's like,
yeah, where you go to 3 types of planet desert.
Yeah, it's essentially it's barely a game.
I really like it though. It's pretty interesting.
But Jedi Orders.
It's Ewoks and Jawas everywhere, and
I need to like pick this up. Let's see, hold
on. The new Jedi Order source book I do have. It has been a while. You mean this one, the role playing book? I mean, you get it basically just to hear a little bit behind the scenes and stuff. It's interesting. In fact, someone told me that afterwards, since I did a very broad overview of all my RPG books, and if there is a story in between, which is usually West End game stuff, which I'm done with now, I think, I'll review it. But the thing is, reviewing the RPG books, I didn't play them, so there's really not much except I can tell you what's in each one. And I don't know, would that be interesting is the thing. I don't know. It probably would be to some people.
Yeah. Like, going back on topic with the expensiveness, it's like Saga Edition books are expensive. And then you have the Dawn of the Jedi comics, which are expensive. The TPBs for those. And it's so hard to like find those at a good price, and you don't want to wait too long. That's the big thing. It's like you don't want to wait on these things if you see them for so and so price. SWTOR is so expensive. Oh yeah, the SWTOR encyclopedia. Yeah, I picked up on that.
I never got that. I don't think I got that encyclopedia.
It went back down in price, thank God.
My first encyclopedia,
but it's still like $100.
Bye, Bernardo. Oh.
I mean, it's just nonstop drama, so that's why I was so grateful for this.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's going to take them hours. They're to declare a winner, and it's just long.
It's not even going to be declared tonight.
That guy said, "Yeah, he destroyed everything much faster," and well, honestly,
yeah, midnight. If anything else. Oh, Dawn of Jedi is getting reprinted soon. The Epic.
Yeah, that will hopefully bring it down, and I hope fucking collectors just don't fucking bring it back up or keep it.
I hope he's an honest politician.
like I get that they're being reprinted, but the Marvel reprints are just so bad to me. The quality of them, it's just not worth it.
Tyler, that's a great question. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've looked through that source book. I knew what you're talking about, and I remember reading it. And gleaning a few things from it that were interesting, but did it go to, well, actually, you can easily tell by the year it came out. If so, that's kind of weird that they bring this out before it even finished. 2002, so yes. 2002 Star by Star may have been out.
It ended in what, 2004?
It started in 2000. Wait, hold on. 2004 it ended, so yeah, it can't go through the entire whoever I bought this from put their phone number in the corner.
Oh no! You know what's funny? My core rulebook has a phone number in it as well. I don't know if it was just early to mid 2000s role playing stuff, like just standard, like you put your name and everything.
I
Oh my
don't
gosh!
know how far. Oh, hold on. Agents of Chaos, Dark Tide, Star by Star. It goes to Star by Star.
That's midway, isn't it?
It goes all the way to Star by Star. It stops at Star by Star. So that's interesting in that they didn't do one afterwards. But I don't know why they. Well, when did they lose the rights? No, that wasn't it, because they had them till 2005. So that's interesting. Hey, thanks.
Oh, you just made $5, Matt. Congratulations!
I'll have. Hey. So let me just let Evan will sing you a song. Your pick.
Oh, look what I got down there. Breaking lucky. Yeah. Palpatine is the Senate. I mean, it was, wasn't it?
Look at this. This is great.
One thing I love about the book is that as their Palpatine and Yoda are going into this.
Call the number $5.
Yeah. As Palpatine and Yoda are going into Sanctified, it's like there's this metaphysical aspect where the Senate is cheering and Yoda realizes the Sith have retrained themselves and they become more than I can handle. And I really like that. Matt Stover's a great writer.
I'll put that one out there for you. Yeah, I agree. I don't know why, Tyler, they didn't make a part 2 to that. That seems weird to me. But they didn't do that.
I need to check up on the EU reviews. I've been a bit busy lately, but I'm going to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've started getting content out for my channel for once, actually.
Hey, Matt, did you see that?
You have a channel?
You know I do. Be quiet. No, actually, I just released the figure review for this today over on my unboxing of it, essentially. And then
Siberian, did you have a question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, but just if you saw that recent CBR article saying that the fandom is divided because of Legends fans or whatever, it was really horrible. Son of Luke responded to it. And
oh god!
That's why I talked about my
CBR
special.
CBR just likes fanning the goddamn flames.
I hate using more shit. I really do, because I think it's overused. But some of these official sites probably just want to slow down on it and clamp it and try to create positive fandom, ironically, by shutting down dissent, because they think no conflict is that, and conflict is everywhere.
Yeah, let me ask you, Cody, I don't know Tad Larkin.
Oh, Tad Larkin.
I hate him. I'm sorry, I don't like him. No, he said some crap. No, he said some crap behind my back, which is literally what he has said to me behind my back, which someone has sent me like PMs of him telling someone this is just damn deplorable. Like I don't share his take on TCW, but he's just said the way he talks behind my back about essentially. About me, like he's not insulting my content. He's not insulting like how I do things. He's insulting me personally.
Oh,
and that's just something I don't.
Yeah, no one should be allowed to do that. I agree. But
no, like here's the thing. I can disagree with your content and how you look at things. I'm not going to disrespect you as a person. But when you disrespect me as a person, that's where you draw a line with me.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
You don't know anything about that, and neither do I.
I don't know Mandalore either. I mean, I know these names, but I don't know them.
Yeah.
Mandalore.
I know Scoundrels Cantina joins me for a more civilized age later on this week.
Tad Larkin is Mandalore, but that's his lore channel, but he's also Captain Fordo, where he did this big TCW debunk.
Gotcha.
And then I debunked that.
Let me ask you guys this question: Legacy of the Force or Fate of the Jedi? Which one do you prefer?
Just from how it sounds, I'd go with Legacy of the Force, because I like the idea of Jason being this fallen one, just from what I read from the timelines.
I feel like Legacy of the Force has probably a lot more interesting moments in it, but I think that Fate of the Jedi has an interesting plot line. Like, I don't know if that, like, on paper, Fate of the Jedi sounds really good, but it seems like there's a lot to unpack with Legacy of the Force.
Abeloth is like Cthulhu in Star Wars, and I really like that.
Essentially.
Just expanding boundaries.
Yeah.
But I asked Eckhart Slatter a while back, Cthulhu versus Abeloth, and he said he was Cthulhu all the way.
There you go. Yeah. I've talked to Eckhart Slatter. I talked to him back about a year or so ago, right before he got married.
Yeah.
And
he's expecting his second
guy.
kid.
So what?
He's expecting his second kid.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I'm happy for him.
It's got a nice Discord, but one thing I don't like, they recently shut down a lot of channels, which include Star Trek, Stargate, and so on.
Yeah, to me, stuff like that's not. I don't know if I would say relevant, because there's definitely.
Well, they just archived it, so it could come back in theory.
Yeah. Evan, beside me, who would you want to have a guest on your channel to talk Star Wars with? What YouTube?
I mean, I think I can get. I've been trying to get Ryan and Lethal, to just do like live streams together. Just they're busy. They're busy people.
They are very busy.
I really like early EU stuff, but I think Lethal has some good stuff too.
I think I would have.
Yeah, Brendan.
See, yeah, I think Eck. I would just say probably Eck. I would. I feel like I could shoot the breeze with him for a bit. I don't know. So I think me and him can. I don't know if we think the same way, but I think we could have a good conversation. I guess I could say.
Yeah, who thinks that guy's a lore master? If they think that, they're just, I'm sorry, but they're fooling themselves. Make Dirge human.
Who?
The Filoni was going to make Dirge human.
Yeah, that was a plan. Luckily, they didn't go through with that. I mean, the thing is, I will defend TCW, but I won't defend like every action that they took or planned to take.
Especially since it's just this myth. And it's always a tiny group of people I call Filoni group who think he's like the savior of Star Wars, always was, and still now.
No, he definitely. To me, he definitely isn't. But he's one of. I will say to me, he's one of the more creative people at Lucasfilm right now.
Yeah, definitely right now, because
and Lucas consider him as a protege essentially. So that's the thing to me. It's like,
Lucas's big flaw, I think, but also his greatest strength was in going with a lot of relative unknowns. I mean, look, he did that with Dark Horse, with Kenner, and with Filoni, with Hayden Christensen. Even Howard the Duck, he went with a very unknown actor.
Right.
That's a two-edged sword.
He does go with a lot of unknowns, but a lot of them have paid off. Even though Hayden Christensen wasn't liked when the prequels came out, look at what people say about his performance now. It's still not good, but he's a good person. He's a good guy.
The third is the best.
We're less critical. Less and less of more EU.
It was never meant to fit within the EU is the thing. And if people
because it wasn't meant to fit with the EU per se. However, it's essentially the approach that Disney has taken. Like now, it's like it draws from the EU. It can pick up from it, and it can mention things that were in the EU, but it's not beholden to it. That's the thing.
Well, Lucas probably wanted to fit in the EU. I was common say like it's separate, but Filoni didn't to.
So, no, that's not true at all. George kept his universe very disconnected from what I've read in interviews. He kept his stuff very disconnected from what was going on with print media and what was going on there. Essentially to him, he allowed people to play ground into Lucasfilm. It was canon.
Filoni wasn't just going over the print media, though. It was the older stuff, too. I mean, the Dirge stuff. So it's like, but he was only coming in once a week. So it's like.
No, wait. He wasn't once a week. This is a thing. Filoni came in, not Filoni, but George was essentially at the storyboard meetings. Essentially, he watched as, point by point. So he got like the rough kind of what's going on in this episode. He would throw out ideas and they would generally follow what he would say and do and suggest, because
I don't think Lucas was deliberately trying to ruin continuity. I think
no. Lucas definitely is not deliberately trying to ruin it, but because Lucas is still the boss. He's still running the show. And so
Yeah.
You have to do what the big man says, essentially. So if Lucas likes this idea better in his head than what was implemented in the EU, they're going to go with what Lucas said.
Well, Lucas was kind of a fan himself too. He was checking out a lot of the stuff, so I don't think he was. I think he had, like me, he has a certain degree of problem with memory. So maybe it was just that he remembered it wrong.
It's either memory or he's just indecisive, because you look at his track record with his movies, he's just indecisive.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah.
No, but the thing is, I can't pin TCW solely on Filoni when
I know. I also just don't buy this myth that he spins. It's like George was telling me to destroy it. He was not. He was making mistakes that went with it, but George doesn't work there, so it's too tempting for people to label TCW as legends just because they hate the new stuff. And if they're going to do that, they have to see about the history of what went into it back then.
Well, yeah, you do, and I've spent a lot of time researching this topic. Like, I mean, I have a whole video series dedicated to fixing and addressing issues with the Clone Wars and what previous material. And so when I see, I see a lot of misinformation in the community of like, oh yeah, Dave, like Filoni was totally against the EU. He hated this. He deliberately ignored George.
He hated. I think he just has a kind of patronizing view of it, liking stuff he's never read, trying to throw it in, thinking it makes it good. When you're not even going to do.
But that's not his thing. Dave was a director on some episodes, and he was a producer, but the thing is, a lot of these story elements and decisions also come from the writer's room. Sure, he was in that writer's room. So was Lucas. And so were the writers for these episodes who did these scripts. So it's not solely on Dave when these decisions come up. It's a group effort.
I know it is, but maybe it's just because too many people cling to him with this lore savior notion, and it's just always the same.
I've never clinged to him with that. I've never clinged to him with that. Sure, he throws in a few. There are a couple EU references in the show. By a couple, I mean there's quite a bit. Case in point, the Mark Sable technique. That's in the end of season 1.
I'm not just looking at TCW, though. I'm looking at what he's done since then. It's just
I don't focus on what he's done really since then, because it's not my continuity anymore. That's not really my continuity. Sure, I enjoyed Rebels, but that was about it.
Evan, are you a Filoni apologist?
Okay, where is this coming from? Who said that? No, I'm not an apologist. I rather just tell someone, I'm not an apologist. It's more of I want to put the information out there that I have seen and what I've read.
Well, the thing is, this is what I found.
Instead of letting this whole thing propagate into anti-Filoni, George had zero involvement. He
wasn't involved, and I know you're not saying I said that, but he was as involved as in other stuff in the EU, or a bit more or less, depending on how you see it. What I see from Lucasfilm is that this is kind of how they've always been, this double think, double talk approach that leaves people feeling confused. Like Lucas had said, he was always going to make it Return of the Jedi when he really did want to be named that, but he was toying with Revenge of the Jedi for a while because someone near him said that sounded pretty weak.
Right. No, and the thing is, like, to me, it's like, what has George had more influence? Like, influence-wise, I think George has more influence on the EU. Where does George have more direct involvement? I'd say TCW, because he's in that writer's room. He's in that room with these people as they are creating this episode, the storyline for this episode. He doesn't manage what's going on, during the animation, but he sees the final product and he approves that final product. And he's in there during the original creation of the story.
George strikes me as a bit of a fan type himself because he watched the original Star Trek and he was like a racer and stuff. So I could see him watching some of this stuff and liking it, like the micro series even.
Right. And here's the big thing to me is that I might as well just say this on here. But I see someone take this quote completely out of context, is that it's like Dave went behind George's back. He didn't really go behind his back. It was
about the Ahsoka thing.
Yes, I'm talking about the Ahsoka thing because here's the thing. In that episode, wait, hold on. in that episode, like on the behind the scenes thing, is that somebody's taking that clip out of context. It's like, so it's like, I can't, if you watch the whole thing, he's like, I can't sell George this like ending in the rough cut. I've got to show him this in the final cut.
Yeah, but that's sneaky thing past it. It's like manipulation to get what he wants.
It's not really manipulation because he knows how George is going to view it. And he's like, he needs to present to him in a way that George will like it. And of course, it's the only thing. Here's the thing, though, that it's not even that big of a deal because it's literally just the music cue at the end. Is that all he changed? It's like,
I think what people object to is I'm the same personality type as Lucas. Even my friends who have known me for 10 years have a hard time like understanding me because they say I'm wishy-washy, and that's what Lucas was. So I think it's hard to pin down what he was exactly.
See, here's the thing. You're only seeing a clip, Tyler. You're only seeing a clip of that whole thing. It's not the entire thing. No, seriously. I've seen that clip taken out of context. I've seen that. It's like I couldn't sell this to George in the
because I know him
final,
but it's true. He is going against what George Lucas wanted for Ahsoka.
But he is saying that it's small though.
Yeah, so far I've not seen anything to me with Ahsoka's fate. I've seen nothing besides an early quote, like early in the series, like it was the quote is that, well, I've always been in the Ahsoka lives camp. George has always been in the Ahsoka dies. There's that, but it's like, okay, it's like, so I mean. Literally, you have to think that George had to have approved it at some point because
he approved of everything on that show. I just tend to think it's more influenced by people, easily influenced unless it conflicted with.
I don't think he's. See, here's the thing. I don't think Lucas is easy influenced because here's the thing. He surrounded himself with a lot of yes men on the prequel trilogy. And Lucas generally, like, if you watch his rise into Hollywood, he was not being influenced at all. And I doubt that was later in his life too. He's kind of
reserved though, in a way, kind of.
He's reserved, but he has never gone with the flow. He's never, what George thinks is going to be the right way is his way. It's his way or the highway, from what I've viewed of George and what I've
he created a company based entirely on the point of view management approach.
Right. Now, but just really quickly getting back to this thing. It's like, obviously, George, like, Filoni had talked to George about, what do we do with Ahsoka and Vader? Like, what happens when they come to blows? Like, of course, I blame Filoni of like keeping Ahsoka alive for so long, after Rebels, because at this point she's just a writer's pet in new canon. And it's because number one. Again, it's a writer's pet. Number two, it's a fan favorite character, so they can't really kill her off without inciting mass.
Well, I think
discontentment.
There's something. I think a lot of this anti-Filoni pushback lately comes from those who are afraid of what he'll do when he gets put in charge, like use time travel to bring back legends or something, or try to write in that world.
See, I doubt that would happen. I doubt that would happen.
Probably won't, but I get that it's fear.
Right? No, it's fear, and I don't know. I just hate like. Again, I've said this. I hate false information.
But is it possible he'd let Drew Karpyshyn write his Darth Sana novel for Legends?
I mean, it's possible. Like, here's the thing. Though, to me, is that it's not like Filoni has not read the EU. He's read the Thrawn trilogy.
He's read some of it.
Of course.
Yeah, he's read. He's also played the Republic Commando novel. Not the novel, the book, the game. God, what the heck? He's also played the game.
He doesn't, yeah.
Yeah, so... like, here's the thing. I can't judge someone for... I really can't judge someone for not being as ingrained in the EU. I cannot judge someone for that. Like props on him to even have read a bit of it. Like, some people don't go that far.
Had Larkin brought up, and I know you just like him as a person, I can understand that, but a point he brought up that interested me was where... they were going to bring back Eth Koth, and then she and Hidalgo said, "Don't do that," and then Filoni went to join and said, "Okay, go ahead."
Now, you know what's interesting about that? Athkoth was already brought back. He was brought back in the Wild Space novel. He was alive in the Wild Space novel, and that would have been. I think that would have been a little bit before they worked on that episode.
So it was just, I get what you mean about it.
So I think that's where some of the confusion is. It's like he's in this novel, but it says he's dead in the holocron. Like there's some confusion there. And I don't have a problem with Athkoth coming back to life. Because again, he was on the same gunship as Sora Bulk was, and he survived in the EU. So what's to say that, an Iridonian Zabrak.
I mean, some people
with a high pain tolerance also survived that crash.
Some people speculate that we were leading up to a reboot for years anyway, and TCW was just the first stone in that road.
See, I don't think that was the case. I think I don't even believe that, because literally there were still novels planned to come out for the EU. Look at Tarkin. There's still things going on.
What I see is
that as soon as Disney bought it, was like
they broke down.
No, it wasn't. It broke down. It's like how are we going to do these movies? Are we going to adhere to previous continuity, or wipe the slate clean and just give us freedom for later works that we can do?
We made our thoughts on TCW clear. Can we let Matt have control of his own show back?
Okay, he said that. But yeah. No, but I'm just talking,
My grandparents were both from Alabama. Christopher. So let's see. Christy Golden just yesterday shot us down about Sword of the Jedi trilogy. Said we need to let that go. Yeah. She's tired of people asking, but to be honest, no one cares about any of the writing that she ever made or what she has coming out. And I think she should be kinder to the fans and just give all her notes or give the book, because we know it was written, or we know a rough draft was made, because it had a release date and a cover, and it was coming out just a few months, away. I think 4 to 6 months. I can't remember, and then it got canceled. So, she has it. She just doesn't want to. She doesn't want to give it. She doesn't want to give any of the story away, because she could reuse that story and repurpose it, change the title to something else, which is what a lot of authors like to do.
Can I say something about that? I'm actually more theoretically interested in a Darth Zana novel that Carbishin would be down for than that, probably, because it's never going to happen.
Yeah, Tyler, she says she didn't even have an outline, but to be honest, and I don't know if it's still up, but the Force.net had the cover. It's coming out later on this year, they said. Christy Golden's very happy. I remember this explicitly, that, it was in the process of being written and was in, at least through a first draft, at least is what was indicated, that this thing was coming out in a few months. Now, if she didn't have anything prepared, then why'd they have a cover? Why were they announcing the release date for later, before the buyout? Why was all this going on if she didn't even have anything submitted yet? That's kind of bold that they would do all that without any script. Because if you're going to set a release date, you better at least have the draft, right? So you're going to meet that timetable, because fans are going to expect it that time. So I don't believe that at all. A lot of authors shy away from written material that went unpublished. Like Stackpole told me, or told everyone in the room, that he and Zahn wrote a Thrawn Fail story that was going to be part of the adventure journals. It was a 4-part story. And when the West End Games closed down, they said, oh, well, maybe Star Wars Insider wants to publish it. And then it just got passed over. And so they just buried it. And I said, well, wait. And so afterwards I went, well, if you have it, I'd love to read it. He went, oh, we don't have that story anymore. No, you said you still did. But he didn't want to share it.
No, a lot of the authors don't want to share anything.
You don't give away the good stuff for free now. Yeah,
like no author, like a lot of them still have it, but they don't want to be like, yeah, we still have this. It's like
Scoundrels Cantina is the bold one.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, Scoundrels?
Yeah, you're going to get to see Luke join me for More Civilized Age, that is coming out Thursday, and it's going to be great. It's a great conversation. We had a great talk and everything. In fact, look, I got a small update to give you sometime, buddy. My work schedule's busy for the next couple of weeks, but when it opens back up, we'll chat again. Hey, Adam, how's it going? So yeah, that's we're just chatting here, and absolutely be happy to do it again. Had such a great talk. Had a preview talk with him the day before. We had just a great talk. I really enjoyed it, and then had a great More Civilized Age conversation, which by the way, Luke, Ryan texted me like the next day, and he was too busy. He's just really busy right now, so it's hard. Usually he can, and I mean he would have, eventually made time, but he's just got so much going on right now because he's doing, I guess, some other type of streams or something. And he had told me he'd gotten off 10 hours of streaming. I was like, holy cow. Guess that was playing a game or something.
Probably Ghost of Tsushima.
I could recommend a topic to discuss based on what we said earlier, since that seems to have been caught up. We were talking on ships earlier. What's your feeling on general ships in the EU Legends fandom?
What, just ships in general? Like what?
Yeah,
ships that were afraid?
Between people, like love relationships, pairings.
Relationships, that kind of stuff.
My favorite is actually from Cold War 2, Atten in the Exile, because I usually play as Woman Exile. I really like that.
See, I don't know. I never got into that. I don't know. Star Wars is not made. I wouldn't say Star Wars is made for it, but it's just nothing I would get into personally. It's just, I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah, one of the things that is fun about the expanded universe is there's a lot of things to collect. When you think about not just the books and the comic books, we were talking about the toys earlier. There's a few Legos and everything. We talk about Legos on the discussion. We talk about there's oh, there you go, Akbar Winter. Of course, that's going to come up.
Yeah, that dumb thing.
Oh, shit.
How about Palpatine and Yoda?
Have a hard copy.
A crack ship.
Oh, nice. Cad and Darth Talon. Oh yeah, I like Cade Skywalker and Delilah. Thought that was a good relationship. As comic books go. Yeah, Nexus, like I said, fighting the Hutts seems like a great step in the right direction. It doesn't have to introduce a new alien race or anything. We need to. I wish the EU, and they were starting to do that when Del Rey took over, is stop exploring and expanding it. Just work within it. Play within these places and ships and villains that are already out there. Now, of course, you had the Hanging Lost Tribe of the Sith and Abeloth, but that storyline could go with the Hutts. That takes the Jedi out of the equation there. So, again, I think that's a perfect one. After that, what would they do? I don't know. Eventually, Han, who's getting older, would have to die, as would Leia, as would Luke. You have to slowly and I don't say they have to be killed off in an epic way, but eventually they would have to pass away. And Jaina having kids, creating the failed dynasty. I think you'd even have the Grey Knights being formed at some point, which, with the influence of Kip, Jaina starts the Grey Knights that we see from the Legacy comic book, and then Ben eventually has a conflict with her because she's broken away from the Jedi Order and created her own Jedi for the Empire, and they're not following the path that Ben's dad set forth for them all. And I think that's what starts the schism between the Solos and the Skywalkers, which is what you see as evident in the Legacy comic book. So I think you start everything from that point on, I would say after the Hutts, would have to start paving the way to what we see in Legacy, the comic book. You start bridging the gap. Ben gets older. He gets married. He has, is it Cole Skywalker, right? No. There's someone in between Ben and Cole, right?
Yeah, there has to be, because of how.
Yes. So there's someone in. We find out who Cole's father is, and then you keep. I mean, it would suck because you have to get rid of the main characters, but
I'm ready. Honestly, I'm ready for those main characters. Like, to me, the main characters that ready to go, because here's the thing: we already have a lot of stories with them, and you can still set a lot of stories in the intervening years. Because, like, here's the thing: take a look. I want you to just take a look at the Galactic Civil War and how compact the story is for the heroes of Yavin. Look how compact all that stuff is, and you can't say this is an endpoint for these characters. If we ever want to tell stories about these again, we can move them back into these eras.
Time out. Can you show your Darth Nihilus figure?
Yeah, sure. Can I ask you something, Matt? Speaking of, if they were to continue Legends, what do you think would be a great way for Luke Skywalker to die, since George has no input at all now?
I will answer that in just a second here. Hold on. What was the one I wanted to ask here? Okay. So what a way for Luke? I mean, Luke can pass away peacefully like Yoda did. I'm fine with that. I think someone has to pass away peacefully. I think Han, I have to agree with this. I think Han goes down in a ball of flames with the Millennium Falcon. I think the Millennium Falcon dies with Han. I think that's just a fitting end.
What do you mean, like
Leia? Would Leia be dead by then?
Would
Han sacrifice for his family? I'm not sure. How Leia would die, I'm up in the air too. She and Luke may pass away together, in a sacrifice, brother, sister, holding on and letting the new generation take over. So they could all die out epically, but I think it'd be nice to have someone pass away peacefully. But I think Han should go out in a ball of flame with the Millennium Falcon.
What you said reminds me of Core from DS9. Kind of how most people wanted Kirk to go out, but
right.
We did die on the bridge.
Most underrated comic book series, gentlemen. Do you know?
I could probably think of one, but I can't think of one now.
Okay.
I guess I would say, just off the top of my head, that All-Star Batman and Robin thing, I guess.
All right. Do you have an underrated Star Wars comic book series, Ethan? I mean, Evan?
Comic books underrated?
Yeah, underrated. I think more dark.
You know what? I think
more Dashing Dark would be nice.
I think Agent of the Empire is pretty underrated. Like, that's just kind of like another series that kind of flew under the radar. It's not bad. I don't mind it.
I don't think Crimson Empire is underrated. I think there are a lot of people love Crimson Empire.
What that guy said is just the best. Leia's the one who dies at home and whatever, surrounded by family. Luke just could go into exile, but that's like at the end of his life, I guess, and he just never returns. Kind of like Captain Sheridan on Babylon 5, and then Han just pays away for some rescue, blows up.
One that doesn't get discussed that much because it was just a one shot, but I thought was really good was Boba Fett Twin Engines of Destruction. It just doesn't get mentioned that much, and I thought it was one of the best Boba Fett stories, and just a lot of fun. And he had a sequel written that never got published, never got written. I mean, never got drawn out, but he wrote it out. See you later, Luke. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, 120. When 120, you will look as good. You will not.
Yes. Yeah.
He just read. Good night, Luke. Just read Twin Engines yesterday. Wow. I thought it was a fun read. For a one shot, it's not bad.
No, it's not. It's not bad. No, they were going to do a spinoff of that, a Dengar Jodo cast spinoff, with that, but it never saw the light of day.
Yeah, I can't remember what the writer had a second idea that was written out. It just didn't get made. And I was like, and that was the right, whoever wrote, I can't remember his name right now. That was the only Star Wars he ever wrote, too. I mean, he took a storyline, he took a plot thread from West End Games about Jodo Cast, and said, you know what, I'm gonna wrap up this story. And I thought it was cool because I knew who Jodo Cast was. So a neat little idea. New Joe Order is the best. Yeah, New Joe Order is one of my favorite series. Obviously, why? Because I don't mind talking about. That's why those videos are way longer. Yeah, something like that. I think Cole is Ben's grandson. That's who it is. Yeah, because I remember trying to do the math in my head and figuring out who would be when. I remember, like I said, I'll have to look it back over again. Well, if it was 100, it's 137 years after A New Hope, actually, right? So basically, it's thrust 100 years into the future. Which...
Anyway, I'll be back. I'll go check on my family because they think there may be a result now. I'll be right back.
No problem.
A result where? Because I could have told him. I have the map all pulled up on my other monitor.
You have the map of the galaxy? Oh, good.
No, I have that.
Is there some Evan? Am I keeping you from something else important?
No, you're not. You are not. Not at all. What were some of the questions people were asking me with the TCW stuff earlier? Might as well just take a look on that. Let's see. I respect the fact that Evan judges new and old Star Wars material objectively without prejudging things. Well, thanks, full time. Honestly, I take pride in that fact. I try not to let my nostalgia kind of kick in for a lot of things when it comes to judging them and precedents. But then again, I did grow up with both TCW and the original multimedia project, so that was a back-to-back thing. You okay, Matt? You just like
no.
You have the 1,000-yard stare, just like
reading one of my emails there. All right, so
we having somebody else on.
Skywalker way too old. Those co-brother must be. Yeah, I'm trying to do the math in my head right now, and I'm just because everyone is about the right age to have baby. I remember doing it a long time ago and thinking, man, someone must have had a kid when they were like 18 or 20. But now that I'm doing it in my head again,
I'm back.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh,
yay, SG1.
I love that. It's just I'm almost done with it.
I'm telling you what.
I'm quite fond.
Never do math in public. That's right. Now, I was just thinking about the math and everything. I was thinking, okay, there's one that'd be, and they'd all be around the same age to have a kid, so it all works out. But I was thinking, well, where did I get that off? Because I remember thinking, like I said, a long time ago when the comic book first came out, when they had Cole in there, and I was thinking, okay, so Cole would be here, and so that would make him. He's about this age, so he would have been born around this. Yeah, I'm guessing, the whole way through it, but. I just can't remember where I got that one of them had to have kids when they were really young, but that's not the case now that I'm kind of rethinking the math. So yeah, I had time. Evan's on the call. Evan's on the stream.
Of course I am. Until Matt boots me right now.
Hey, look at that, Professor Geek. Guys, you gotta check out Professor Geek. He's got some fun stuff.
Watching SG1 right now, Matt Wilkins. And that's Tilt Talk.
SG1. Good stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Professor Geek had a fantastic discussion about books that I absolutely love and the authors that write them. So I really enjoyed that. So I enjoyed my dinner tonight and sat down, had Professor Geek with me because my girls were out. shopping at the time. SG-1 is epic.
Yes.
I like SG. That's my favorite one. Stargate Atlantis is great too, but SG-1 is where it's at. And Universe, the only thing I hate about it is it tried to be Battlestar Galactica, which it wasn't.
That's
But
Universe.
But going back and watching those episodes again, which I just did, I think it was last year or 2 years ago. Stargate Universe has some great ideas, and they could have gone on a good path, but they couldn't get away. They had to be Battlestar Galactica, and that is because, it was obvious what they were trying to do, and it's sad that they felt like they had to copy another show at the time because it makes them look pathetic. They should have just kept on their, regular, look and feel and be Stargate. Because again, Stargate Universe had good episodes.
Even Voyager tried to do that. It's Lost in Space format. Lost in Space.
Well, Voyager has a lot of issues. Voyager is something, and here we are talking about Star Trek, and we're on the part of Star Trek here. Yeah, thanks. But look out. These things just kind of pop up here.
Most people like, and you find it.
But Star Trek Voyager, I cannot stand. There's a lot of reasons why I cannot stand it. None of the. Here's a fine question. What's your unpopular EU opinions? Cody, watch my channel. There's plenty. There are plenty unpopular opinions I have. I go against the grain a lot. But with Voyager, the only interesting character is the Doctor. And any Doctor episode is great. Anything else is garbage. It's boring. And it's awful. Those characters have no depth whatsoever.
Did you know Rick Berman deliberately told them, according to Garrett Wong, to play it a bit bland because they wanted the aliens to look more interesting? So that would be why.
Well, the mission accomplished. And why play it bland when they are the stars of the show is the thing. And the alien of the week shouldn't be that. It has to be interesting on its own. And it's so sad because after a satisfying Next Generation and Deep Space Nine, which I thoroughly enjoyed, you had this Voyager. And I'll be honest, I liked Enterprise. I'm one of the few people who did, but I really enjoyed Enterprise. I think it's leagues better than Voyager. It's not as good as the previous series that came before it, but it's probably the last Star Trek TV series I'll enjoy.
Yeah, but mister, you're forgetting one thing. It says that Voyager had network support, and that means a damn lot to me and you. You better know it. That's Cisco talk. I love that.
Well, the thing is, with Discovery, it's just
I love Cisco.
It's a flaming hot pile of garbage, and then Picard, which, that's one of them.
It's edgy. It's edgy.
But with Picard, it's a series that had potential and it lost its way. And I have a die-hard Star Trek fan who loves goes to bed every night watching one Star Trek episode of Next Generation. He watches that 365 days out of the year. He's watching Star Trek. And so he was pumped for Picard, and he told me he's not coming back for season 2 to watch it. So
I mean, I thought season 1 was very horrible, and season 2 had a few good ones, like Measure of a Man, where Data's fighting for his rights, or the Borg one, where they first introduced the Borg. Those were okay.
Oh no, there's a lot of good Next Generation ones.
Yeah, it just
Cody telling everyone he hated Star by Star.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what went behind the scenes because Garrett Wong, who plays Harry Kim, they were going to kill him off in season 3 at the end of season 3, but then he was declared one of the most beautiful people by people in a magazine, so they kept him on.
Well, he was eventually killed off and replaced with an alternate reality, Harry Kim.
He was the only Star Trek actor ever denied the chance to direct an episode, and that's just horrible.
Well, there's a lot of horrible things about Voyager.
Yeah.
Captain Janeway is totally emotionless.
He is the first example of the whammon type management because they admit they didn't want her to look weak.
Well, I mean, you can have a strong woman character, and that's fine, but Janeway needs some depth to her, and she didn't have it.
Well, I'm not talking about like where Cisco and even Picard fell over in tears or whatever. I don't need that. I'm just saying a bit more pragmatism and uncertainty, I guess, not ideology.
Darth Prime, I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion. I actually enjoyed it because Han got to do the kill for once, and it just showed the absolute end of the Emperor, and it came at the hands of Han Solo with a blaster, which I thought was really cool. I liked it. It was unique. It was different. But I think my opinion is the unpopular opinion. I think a lot of people didn't like that Han got the, last shot in against the Emperor.
Yeah, well, who says blasters are clumsy or random, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know, but anyway, I think that's good enough for tonight.
Oh.
We got our mind away from politics for a while. And, you still get to tune in to see. I haven't tuned in yet. I'll tune in after this, maybe. Or maybe I'll go to bed. It's not going to, there's
so much drama.
Yeah, it's going to be one way or the other. Just remember, tomorrow you're going to wake up. The sun's still going to shine.
And we still won't have an answer of who's going to be in the White House.
Who knows?
Because all the mail-in ballots, that's what's going to kill everything.
Either way.
I personally prefer not to show which allegiance I go to, because it's kind of like Groshik in the Darth Vader trilogy. You agree with someone, they're happy with you short term, but if you leave it anonymous, that's good business.
Yeah, here we go. All right, and tomorrow, folks, I'll be doing the Q&A. Got some good questions up there. I'm going to try to get some time in, but between work and practice and everything, and then I'll be shooting right in here to do the live Q&A. I don't know how much time I have to study it, but I will do my best. Yep. And then after that, on Thursday, it is A More Civilized Age with Scoundrels Cantina and Dylan from the Twin Sons Foundation.
Yep.
And then there will be a board game review on Friday with a little expansion I got in. And then Saturday, some Saturday morning Samo Flan. So a lot of fun stuff happening. Thanks, Sabrian Dream. Thank you, Evan. Thank you for coming on. Guys, thanks for joining us. I hope it's been fun. So we will see you later. Everyone have a good evening.